everybody. It's the one, the only Alcor Star Child, the one from 72, the Ultra Neutral, and welcome to the Galaxy Cafe YouTube channel. The video that I'm sharing with you now is pretty much my story of popularity, and it's not like I was some attention-starved person. What I'm explaining to you, and the reason why I'm showing you this and I bring up the popularity, is because there are many people who claim that they've had alien experiences and stuff like that because they just were not a very popular person. They never really got attention from anybody. Some of these people, you look at them and you just know, like you like, I would feel sorry for them because I know that they're the kind of the kid that was the mousy kid in the classroom. That was very quiet and probably got picked on and probably didn't have a whole lot of friends. I'm not saying that about everybody who has these type of experience. I'm talking about just the few that I know that are actually pretty famous now on YouTube and have a ton of followers. But before their alien story, nobody cared about these people outside of maybe a friend or two and a couple of family members. Now they have this popularity because of a story that they have about aliens, and then that actually helps them elaborate their story even more, like somebody claiming that they went to Mars and they killed draconians on a Martian planet. So although, you know, how did they block the psychic attacks from those beings? How did they keep their consciousness, and how were they able to even walk around on planet Mars? You know, they don't explain all these other things that are important key details, but their stories are very elaborate, and people just seem to want to gravitate towards them, or where people talk about, oh, the reptilians this and the reptilians that, because they have all the secret hidden knowledge. So for me, I was very popular before the alien stuff happened, right? And I'm going to share that in the video here. And this video is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. And there's a lot of stuff that when I started going through my archive of files, that I realized that there's a lot of footage, a lot of pictures and things that are completely missing that I don't have anymore, and I wish I did. So I'm not going to talk about too much of those things because I just don't have the evidence for it. But, you know, my popularity started at a very young age as a skateboarder when I was 14, and then it carried on into when I became an adult, and then I got into the martial arts world, and I did tournaments, and then from the tournaments in the martial arts world, I ended up becoming an actor and doing some acting stuff and working with some pretty famous people, and then from there opening up my own martial arts school and all this other stuff that was just happening, being in newspapers, being on television shows, being in, you know, just on radio stations and all kinds of cool stuff, and famous people that I met through the martial arts world too, you know, famous martial artists and famous athletes, you know, like Super Bowl champions, and, you know, people from all different types of walks of life and famous stuff. And it's just, and it's only because my talents have got me there, and not because I just was hungry for attention. It was my talents that got me to this place to where, you know, I would build this popularity. After the alien stuff happened with me in 2017, that stuff all started to just dwindle away. And now here I am on YouTube with, you know, little to no following, and all that other stuff that I had, where I was building my own brand and building my name and stuff, is all gone. So yeah, this story that I share with you guys about the alien stuff isn't because I needed attention. I had attention before the alien stuff happened. So yeah, enjoy the videos, guys. There's a lot here. I'm sorry. I have to also apologize because for the music, one of the things I don't really talk about much is that I've been playing in bands as a guitarist and a singer for quite a few years, you know, my younger years, teen years, and then later in my adult years. I don't play music much anymore, but the music that I'm going to have on the video, you'll see me playing in my band. I'm sorry if the music sucks. I'm my own #1 fan. When it comes to music, the popularity is my own self-popular. I'm my own fan, so I'm going to put some of that in there so you guys can see me playing the guitar and playing the music while the martial arts is going or the skateboarding's going, and maybe even with the film world stuff. I don't know. I'm going to share some of that stuff with you guys too, just so you can see, you know, the person I was before the alien stuff happened. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. Like, share, subscribe, and there's a lot more other content coming other than this. I just wanted to open up with here's who I am, and this is where I come from, and now we start going into all this alien stuff and off-world things and stuff like that. And enjoy the video, guys. My popularity started off in my teen years when I became a skateboarder at the age of 14. I became so popular, but by, you know, within a few years, by the time 1988 rolled around, there were people making up stories saying about things that I hadn't even done yet, or making up exaggerations of things that I did were bigger than what they were. That's how you know when you start becoming really popular. I ended up skating for 4 different companies. Some of the things that I did that were pretty big, notable in the skateboarding world. I was in the newspaper a couple of times as a skateboarder. There was a Sports Illustrated photographer who used to take pictures of me. I was supposed to be on the cover of a parents magazine. There was photography that was done there. I won a lot of skate competitions. So much competitions that I won that I ended up getting invited to go skate in the Vans Warped Tour in 2001, and that's pretty much around the time when my skateboarding career ended, was at the end of the Vans Warped Tour, and that was invitational only. And I've skated with some pretty big famous people like Tony Hawk, Andy McDonald, names you probably wouldn't know if you're in the skateboarding world. Mike Vallely. I had a great time skating with Mike Vallely. We went to a spot we left the park and went to a spot together to skate a local scene in Daytona Beach. So yeah, the skateboarding world was something that I was very much big into and became very popular, and was signing autographs and all kinds of cool stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next.
Congratulations go to Sean first.
Show's over. There's just so much to say with all the years that I had in skateboarding and the popularity I had from it that I will not remember everything to list down here, but hey, here's some video evidence of some stuff that I used to do and how much fun I used to have as a skateboarder. By the time 2001 rolled around and I had just finished up with the Warped Tour, I gave up skateboarding because of 9/11. 9/11 really changed my outlook on life and the how I would handle a situation like that. And street fighting and a few years of just boxing when I was a kid wasn't going to be able to be adequate in a real world situation with multiple attackers and weapons like that. So yeah, so I went to one of the best Taekwondo schools in the area. I became very popular in Taekwondo. I went all the way up to 4th degree black belt. I ended up going to a Kempo karate school as well, and 4th degree black belt in Kempo karate, became popular in the little Kempo world there. And I trained with a lot of really good, famous martial artists, some that were on the cover of Taekwondo magazine and other things. The martial arts has done a lot for me in my popularity. I ended up opening my own school, which a lot of people said that they knew that was coming. Both my master in Taekwondo, Grandmaster Taekwondo, and my sensei in Kempo Karate both, were priming me to become a school owner. I did end up opening my own school. My school became very popular. Most of my students became state champions. We were in the many newspaper articles, some in front page newspaper. I got a proclamation from the mayor of the city. I did a lot with the martial arts world. I was teaching people who were disabled and was on a iHeartRadio, which is one of the largest radio stations in America, and did an interview on there about training people who had disabilities.
And joining us is Sean. Sean is what's called is it a sensei instructor? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, sensei, sabanim, sifu. There's different names, but yeah, you can just say sensei.
Sensei, okay. And you're with the Scorpion School of Martial Arts, is that right?
Yeah, yes, that's my school.
Okay, that's your school. And why don't you give a location where it is, how long you've been doing this? And this is a really cool thing because Sean has been working hard to train and that's Scott Penn. It's going to happen today at 3 o'clock. He's going to test for his black belt in karate. So let's start with the Scorpion School. Explain that part to me.
Okay, I teach Kempo and Taekwondo, a mix of the two arts. Scott, if you'd like to know a little bit about Scott, when he's been wanting to do martial arts his whole life, and a lot of teachers turned him down and said no, he couldn't be taught.
Mm-hmm.
And they called me and asked me, they said he's in a wheelchair, he's got some issues, I said, bring him in, I'll take a look. He came in, I said, can you lift your arm this way? Can you move it that way? What leg can you use either one of those legs? And one leg works. I said, get him a uniform. He's a student. And Scott, yeah, and Scott has been with me for over 4 years. He's very dedicated. His struggle is as well as any pro athlete struggle. There is no difference other than the skills that he's using are different from the skills that, somebody like a Conor McGregor or somebody like a Bruce Lee. It's going to be in his limitations of what he can do.
Yeah.
And he's been a really great student. He's not going to be testing alone today. I have another student who's testing with him who's also legally blind. So when people say you can't do something, you just got to find the people who say you can.
Exactly.
And you look for those people, and those people will help guide you to get you to where you want to go.
That's incredible. So for 4 years, you worked with this individual. Now at 3:00 today, by the way, this is going to be taking place at
nothing is given. They literally have earned their black belts, and Scott has been, like I said, he's been amazing. He's been such a great student. He's always has good spirits about him, and sometimes he has down days, but we get through those, and that's what it takes to be a black belt.
That's awesome.
See, the cool thing is, people would look at these guys and say, oh, they're at a disadvantage because they have these disabilities and stuff. But it's flipped around, because the attacker has a disadvantage because they would think that they're going to be easy targets, and they're not. They're able to defend themselves just as well as anybody else can. And it actually gives them the advantage through their skills in martial arts.
That is so awesome. I imagine there'll be a crowd to check this out. So another question here, Sean. What happens after this? I mean, you've been working four years on this whole thing. Does he have any more aspirations? What's the next step here, or is this it?
No, martial arts is a lifelong endeavor, and the road does never end. Scott will remain with me as a martial artist student until neither one of us can do it anymore, and then that torch will just get passed on, and he will be an inspiration to a lot of people who have been told that they can't do it. As senseis, we need to step out of the mindset that some people cannot do martial arts and that everyone can do martial arts.
Yeah.
And Scott's an example of that.
This is
he'll keep going.
This is kind of a local version of the Karate Kid,
Yeah, something like that.
That's what it seems like, but there's more to it, because obviously of his disabilities, which I can only assume made him try harder. He knew it was a rough road. He had to overcome certain obstacles, but that made him stronger. And we're going to see it all come to fruition today at 3:00. That is awesome. And then you say you have somebody else who's blind. This is the same kind of contest they're going to get involved in?
Yeah, his name's Nino, and he is a phenomenal martial artist. He came from another school, and when they brought him to me, his mother, and she said, he wants to come train with you. He was a pretty good martial artist at the time, and I was like, okay, sure, and brought him in, and really he has transformed into a really spectacular martial artist. I mean, this guy, he's a high flyer. He can't see very well because he's legally blind, but he will hit you. and he can do full splits, and he is really, really good.
I won't mess with him.
It's going to be awesome to watch these two test together today. I think it's a good testament of what the true martial arts are about and how they actually help everyone, and there is nobody that's turned away.
Absolutely. Well, Sean, thank you so much for what you're doing here. A lot of persistence on your part, too, but you stuck with it, and it's all going to come to fruition today at 3:00.
You too. Thank you very much.
All right, Sean. He is a sensei instructor. Again, that's the Scorpion School of Martial Arts. Again, that's going to happen at 3:00 today.
There's just so much to talk about with all the accomplishments I had done in the martial arts world that had built my popularity, because I was building a brand around myself in the martial arts. I can't list them all. I really can't remember all of the stuff, but there was just so much that was there. So yeah, martial arts, it was a big part of my life, and it was definitely the direction I was going was very popular until the alien thing happened. So yeah, enjoy the video. So somewhere along the line in my martial arts career, before I owned a school, people would come up to me and ask me questions at tournaments and stuff, because I started becoming very popular. And this one lady came up to me with her kids and she said, are you an actor? Have you done any action film stuff? And I said, no, but I would love to do acting. It would be something very cool. So I had a friend who actually was an actor, and I talked to him about, hey, how do I get into this world? I want to be like the next Van Damme, Wesley Snipes, right? So, I want to build my body to be like that. Because I was already doing a lot of really cool hand techniques, fast, flashy hand techniques for Kempo Karate. And I was doing a lot of flashy, high-flying kicks from Taekwondo. So I had the showmanship part down in the martial arts, and that was going to be my hook into the acting world. So I went on to go to an acting school, and people said I was good on the first day, on day one. They were like, wow, and I'm talking about other actors who were there and stuff. And so I was hooked, and I got into the acting world, and if I wasn't good, I would have quit, right? Like if somebody ever told me that you're wasting your time here, kid, go find something else to do, then I would have moved on. I would have shoved off, because I'm just not about wasting my time. So I did some acting for a few years. I had a great time doing acting. I was in a commercial with Dwayne Wade when he switched from Nike to Converse. I did. I had a lot of castings, right? I was casted for a lot of stuff, but doesn't mean you're always going to get in. But I did do quite a few independent films. I was in a Japanese television show later on, and I did some modeling work. I did something I'm not proud of, but I did a modeling thing for a cover of a romance novel, the heterosexual one, and I did quite a few different really cool things in the acting world. I wrote scripts myself for a TV show called Countermine. I had a huge casting crew that signed up to do that. One of my acting coaches, because I went to Burt Reynolds School for 2 years, he decided that he wanted to get on the project that I was doing with Countermine, and so he was in the show. My other acting coach from the Florida acting school, I can't remember the exact name of that, he also got on board. So I had a lot of acting coaches who literally wanted to get on board on this project, and anybody who were not yet on big films wanted to be a part of this project, right? So it was a big deal in South Florida. A lot of people were talking about Countermine at the time. So yeah, acting, another thing that I became very popular doing, and had a great time doing it, because I was a performer. Martial arts, acting, skateboarding, to me it's all the same. It's all performance, all just having fun, getting a reaction from people, and pursuing something that I was talents that I was very good at. I only relied on my talents to build popularity and have fun.
War. The word alone strikes emotion in even the most passive person. Every war, someone dies. Someone is f***ed over, and someone has an agenda fulfilled out of the public eye. I was assigned to such an agenda, part of an elite group of soldiers, all of which had their own unique training. They chose me because of my record as an undercover city cop after I left the armed forces. my ability to blend into my environment, to speak a half dozen languages, and my skills in hand-to-hand combat. So they made me an offer I could not refuse. A branch of the US government known only as codename FAN. Our mission was top secret, hidden from even the UN forces already in place. The mission was a success.
Police! Drop it, motherfucker! Drop the gun!
My team wondered why they needed ex-military to do a government operation, but never questioned because the money was so good. Until they, the FAN Corporation, ordered an official strike on us before returning to the States, labeling us as the terrorists to the US national security. My team split up. If the others survived, I do not know. What I do know is I intend to find out who is behind this and why picked me. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
I also have to mention, which is kind of cool, one of the films that I did was called Church Boys, and I played a gangster in that film. The cool part was the director. The director was Steve Caple Jr. At the time, he wasn't very famous, but he did go on to do the Creed movie, which was the follow-up to the Rocky movies. So he did Creed 2. He was the director for that. And he was the director for the Transformer Rise of the Beast. So that's kind of cool, you know. Actually, there's been a lot of people that I've worked with in the acting world who went on to do big stuff, you know, that became very famous. And some of those people were already working with famous people when they were working with me, which is, yeah, I guess it's kind of cool, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But hey, I hope you guys enjoy these clips. I'm going to show you some of the different film stuff that I've done, just short clips from short independent films, and enjoy.
It's my fault.
That's right, Maria. It is your fault.
No, I'm sorry.
I work all day, and all I expect is to have my house taken care of, my kids clean. All I expect. I'm sorry. I work all day, and all I expect is to have my house taken care of. No, my house clean, my kids taken care of, and my food ready. What is this? Stop laughing! I'm going to beat you! She's laughing!
I'm sorry. Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
Oh, funny.
It's not easy being brutal.
How does it sound?
You know, it's not been just a bunch of, you know, successful things. There's also failures that come along the way, and setbacks, and also there's also some tragedy things that have happened. Like when I moved to Ohio, you know, I thought I was getting away from a lot of the crime in Florida. However, I moved onto a street that was, you know, it was a nice street the first couple years I was there, but then drug dealers moved in, and they end up having, on that street, and they end up having a war, right, on the street. Like, literally, I mean, a serious war with two houses, one on one end and one on the other end, to where a guy across the street from my house ended up being shot and killed. And I was actually awake and playing a video game and heard the whole thing happen. Went outside and saw the guy laying on the ground, dead. And then a couple nights later, there is retaliation to the other drug dealers from the other house that they killed that guy, and that house was set on fire, and 2 people died in that house. So within a week, there was like multiple murders on that street. And then what makes it even more crazy, like a few months later, or like I think maybe 4 or 5 months later, they found a serial killer on that street too, another few houses down from me, who had like 3 or 4 bodies in his basement, and a bunch of evidence of stuff inside of his van. So that whole street, and you can see that I was on the cover of, or I wasn't the cover, but I was on the front page of the newspaper, because the people in my neighborhood were very afraid to talk. They were scared because there was so much murder happening on that street. And just so happens that, you know, I wasn't really shook about it. It was something I was used to down in Florida, so I stood my ground, and I wasn't afraid to address the crime that was happening in that neighborhood on the newspaper. So yeah, I was on the front page of the newspaper speaking out against crime in my neighborhood and murders. So originally I was not going to put this part of the video in, because I just kind of wanted to get through this video quickly, but somebody said you should share this part of the video. So I have to apologize for the background noise. This is not a normal time that I normally make videos. That's kind of a last minute thing, and that is, I want to share with you what happened with all the ninja stuff, right? So when I opened my karate school, one of the things that I did when we first did our first parade for the school, you know, there's like a city parade. Well, one of the first things I did was dress up like a ninja and do like a little ninja show. Now, I had no training in ninjutsu at all. I literally am 4th degree in taekwondo and kempo karate, and you know, I've worked with a lot of different weapons and stuff, but I'm also very athletic and have done some gymnast type stuff and things. So I just thought of what would look cool for a ninja, but I also added like a comedy to the theme of the ninja, right? So it was kind of like a ninja, like a cool ninja with like a comedy act at the same time, and the kids loved it, the parents loved it, everybody had a good time when they saw the ninja in their city. It became such a really fun thing that it actually helped me get more students in the school by portraying this cool ninja thing. And you know, I have kids running up to me saying, "Get over here," you know, and stuff, because my school is called Scorpion School of Martial Arts. So I ended up having students who wanted to be part of the demo team, and they had said about, you know, "Oh, I want to be a ninja, I want to be a ninja." So I said, okay, I will hand select certain students that will make the cut that I think that'll be cool little ninjas, you know, for this team that we made. So I ended up doing that and building like a ninja team, a ninja demo team. In the process of doing that, I had started doing ninja birthday parties, and that became a big hit in the town, right? Like a lot of people, it was originally for kids, but I ended up having adults come and saying, "Man, I want a ninja birthday party." So I did like this video that I put on YouTube. It was all improv, and I'm going to show that at the very end of this part of the video, where I play a ninja who is going to give you the best birthday party ever. In fact, I would have people literally come into my school and say, "I want the best birthday party ever," you know, because I would say it in this like ninja voice, "Best birthday party ever," and it just became a huge hit, right? Like so many kids in the schools were talking about it. There were parents talking about the ninjas that were in their town, you know, and all this stuff. So it was a real fun thing to add with the martial arts. It was something that when I was a kid, I wish I would have got to see ninjas. I thought that was like, so that's why I did it, and that's what I wanted to bring to, you know, to the town there. It ended up becoming so successful that Japan, they were doing a television show exposing people in America that were, you know, doing Japanese traditional things like Japanese restaurants and on origami or whatever, different types of things, but they just weren't quite getting it right, but they were emulating the Japanese culture. By the way, the Japanese do the same thing, right? I've seen, if you haven't seen the Japanese dress up like Mexicans and have lowriders and do all that, that's pretty cool to see them do that. So they were kind of like exposing Americans that were doing the same thing. The difference was between my school and other schools is there were schools out there that were claiming that they were real ninjas teaching real ninjutsu, and they were afraid to being exposed for real. So they really didn't want anything to do with it. However, the producers saw my ninja birthday party video on YouTube, and they contacted me, and they said, you know, we're a production team from Japan, and they gave me the spill of what they want to do for this whole like gag show, you know, for the with these Japanese ninja. A real Japanese ninja coming from Japan, coming to my town, to my school, to learn Japanese ninjutsu, but in the American way that we do it, which is obviously not the same as the way the Japanese really do it. And I said, at first I thought they were just putting me on, you know, I thought they were joking until they sent me some other contact information. I knew that they were serious, and I was just like, okay, sure. So the producer and a film crew came in. They stayed a weekend with me and my wife at the time. They come checked out the school, and they said, hey, we want to do this show with you. We want to do this episode. So then they said, we'll be back in like 6 weeks or 2 months, something like that. I can't remember what the time period was. And then they came back, and we had a freaking blast. We had such a good time, and I have no problems with making myself look like a fool when it comes to, you know, anything. It's, for me, it's fun. If I can get somebody to laugh, I don't care. If the joke looks like it's on me, it's cool. I get somebody to laugh, and I enjoy that. So it was okay with what the way that they wanted to shoot it and the way they wanted to do it. However, after they got done filming and they went back to Japan and they put it on television, they immediately contacted me that night, and they told me, was it that night or the night after, I think, they told me they had a 10.4 rating, and they were so over the moon about it. They said it was the highest rated show that they've had, and it was also the highest rated show on Japanese television at that time, my part of the Japanese thing there. So yeah, so it was pretty cool, and I ended up having like a lot of fans from Japan who were contacting me and told me, you come to Japan, you come live with me, you know. So it was really, really cool, and I did get to end up meeting. We met the ninjas. We spent time with them. I spent some personal time with them alone. They did teach me some really cool stuff, which I implemented some of those techniques into my actual ninja demo team, so that way they can have more authentic ninja stuff. So that's what I'm saying, guys. I had such a great time in the martial arts, and all of this was actively happening because we had just wrapped up the TV show literally 1 year before the alien thing happened. So I hope you enjoy this part of the video and all this stuff, the ninja stuff that you're watching while I'm talking. And I'm gonna stop here and play the ninja birthday party video for you guys, so you guys can see that and see how much fun we had with that. The one thing I can't play the way it was meant to be played is the very end part with the ninja stuff with me and my ex-wife. It was a short video of us doing a bunch of ninja cool stuff for the birthday party, and we played the song from Imagine Dragons and something, not Believer, it was another one. But anyhow, that ended up being another thing that we did, which we try to do for Imagine Dragons, and I made a whole video on that. I don't want to get into that whole thing, and we sent that to Imagine Dragons. So yeah, and it was with my karate students, and that's part of the reel that you guys already have been watching while I was talking. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this part of the video, and enjoy the birthday party stuff.
You want ninja birthday party? Best birthday party ever!
So, yeah, that's my story of who I am, and as you've seen as you're watching in the video over there, you can see my talents and my skills of what I've done, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed this video here at the Galaxy Cafe in Cambodia, and like, share, subscribe, leave your comments, and enjoy the rest of the time that you have left.